In this video we are going to start a new chapter, and this chapter is very important in decision making process. So when we talk about cost and management, when we talk about cost and management accounting, so we have to take ultimately the decisions for the organization. So there are certain tools that we use in day-to-day life of a business to take decisions or to take such decisions of business. These decisions are very important for the business. Okay, like make or buy decision, expand or off decision, shut down or continue decision. So these are some kind of the decisions that we take upon the basis of certain tools. And one of the tool from such decision making is known as marginal costing. Marginal costing being a very popular topic under the name of decision making, and it is a very important topic for all of us. So let's start today with marginal costing. So in marginal costing we will be seeing many things, and many of the concepts are there to be understood well to perform decision making process or to be a part of decision making process. So let us see that what are some of the topics that we are going to cover under the chapter of marginal costing. So marginal costing is quite an easy chapter only if you do it properly with the logics itself, because it has a long range of formulas in it and you must take care of each and every formula deviation plus the logics behind the working of formula. Now the first topic that we are going to study is obviously the meaning of marginal cost and marginal costing. So what do we exactly mean by marginal cost and marginal costing? So basically the classification, if you classify the cost as per cost accounting standard number 1, so you will be seeing that in cost accounting standard number 1 a classification is given as name as decision making. So we classify the cost according to decision making. So in such a classification you can see marginal cost there, not marginal costing. You can see marginal cost under the head of under a division of decision making, and the subdivision will be marginal cost. You might have seen this, but if you have not read yet the CAS 1 or cost accounting standard number 1, so please, I have made a video on classification of cost. In such a video I have covered whole classification of cost, and there you can see that in decision making we cover marginal cost as well. So we will be seeing that what do we mean by marginal cost and marginal costing, because these are two different words. Marginal cost and marginal costing, we will be seeing the differences between the both. We will be seeing cost classification under chapter of marginal costing. We will be seeing very important, it is very important, so weightage of this chapter in respective exams may range from 6 to 15, may range to from 6 to 15. So CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis, is one of the important approaches that marginal costing holds. So we will be studying CVP analysis, but before studying CVP analysis we will be studying a concept of contribution. Then in CVP analysis we will be learning about PV ratio, which is also known as profit volume ratio or contribution to sales ratio. Then we will be studying about margin of safety. What do we mean by margin of safety? We will be learning it in detail because it is very important. All the points are here is important in CVP analysis, because CVP analysis is one of the most important topic that we have in marginal costing chapter. Now we have break even point plus shutdown point analysis. So we will be seeing that what do we mean by break even point and shutdown point. Then we have key factor or limited factor. We will be seeing this also, and we will be seeing differential cost analysis and relevant cost analysis. This is also an important topic. So basically all the topics are important, but some of the topics are quite complex to learn, and as well as they are important as well. Then we will be seeing theory portion, because I believe that we will be covering practical part first, then we will be seeing theory portion, because in theory portion we will be covering functions of marginal costing, objectives, applications, limitations, and so on. So like this we will be studying the theory portion. Now we will be left with marginal versus absorption costing. So this is one of the most important topic. That is why I have, because I have segregated the chapter into two parts. Till here we will do the first part, and here we will be doing the second part. So I have segregated the chapter into two parts. First we will do from 1 to 6, then we will be doing the 7th point. So it is an important topic to study, and also in this also we will be seeing the theory for absorption costing and marginal costing, and what are the differences between marginal and absorption costing, and how can we do the sums as per marginal costing and absorption costing as well. So these are some of the topics that we are going to study in marginal costing chapter. So let us start with the first concept now, which is meaning of marginal cost and marginal costing. So what do we mean by marginal first? Marginal is not a new word for a commerce student. It means per unit. If I talk about marginal cost and marginal costing, so marginal cost means the additional cost if we produce an additional unit. So if we produce an additional unit, then the total cost will change. Definitely the change will be known as marginal cost. For an example, you were incurring a cost of 1000 for producing 10 units. So if you increase this 10 unit to 11 unit, then this cost will also rise to 1050 rupees. Then the marginal cost will be 50 rupees. So as we have seen here that if I increase the production from 10 to 11, then the cost will rise, and the per unit cost that has been risen is marginal cost. Now what is marginal costing? Basically marginal costing means per unit cost analysis. So basically what marginal costing do is nothing but it analyzes the marginal cost of 50. So at broader level, because I have told you that we will be doing the theory portion here only, we will be doing the theory version here only. Now we are seeing the ultimate logics behind the concepts. Do not worry about the theory portion. These are only the definition that you are going through at the point number 6. So now you have understood that what is marginal cost and marginal costing. So basically we can see that marginal cost is the additional cost we incur for production of additional unit. So what is the formula for marginal cost? So we can derivate the formula here, that what is the change in total cost, what is the change in total cost, and what is the change in quantity produced. See, if I apply this formula here, I will be getting the marginal cost. So what is the difference in total cost? It is 50. And what is the difference in quantity? 1. So I would be getting 50 as my marginal cost. So we have derivated a formula of marginal cost here. So we got the point that what do we mean by marginal cost, and to study or to analyze this marginal cost, we have a technique named as marginal costing. I hope you all are understanding my points very well. Now let's move on to the classification of cost under marginal costing chapter. So classification of cost, or I must say types of cost. You can call it both type or classifications. So basically you might have seen this classification earlier as well. According to the classification is according to variability. this classification you have also seen if you have done the overhead cost in chapter. You might have also seen this classification into such chapter. So now, so there are basically three types of costs under marginal costing chapter. The very first cost is fixed cost. Then we have variable cost. Then we will be having semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost. I know that you all that are watching this video must know about these three costs. But just to refresh your learning power, we are doing this. Just for the sake of remembering all the things at once, at least again. So now, what do we mean by fixed cost? What do we mean by variable cost? And what do we mean by semi-variable cost? So basically, fixed cost means amount that does not change. So I have written here data. Let me write it in change also. Does not change with the change in production in short run. So an amount which does not change with the change in production in short run only. In long run, as we have studied economics as well, in long run, see, in long run, all costs are variable, means all costs can be changed. But in short run, we can have fixed cost, we can have variable cost. Okay, so variable cost means an amount which changes with the level of production. The level of production, right? Semi variable, it is a hybrid type of fixed cost plus variable cost. So it is a combination of fixed cost and variable cost. So this was the definition for fixed cost, for variable cost, and for semi variable cost. Now let us also see what are some of the features of fixed cost. So fixed cost, what are the features of fixed cost? Can you determine, I must say that you must know that how do we determine that this specific cost is called fixed cost and this specific cost is called variable cost, or this specific cost is known as semi-variable cost. How do we classify these costs, on which basis or on what basis? So we will be seeing that on what basis we are classifying the cost as fixed, as variable, or as semi-variable. So there are certain features of fixed cost, of variable cost, and of semi-variable cost, because this classification will be very useful in CVP analysis. So in CVP analysis, we will be using this concept of classification so that we do not get stuck in the questions, in the practical problems. So the feature of fixed cost are, it is fixed. First feature is it is fixed up to a certain level. Okay. Second, the cost per unit changes. Now, total amount does not change. So these are three features or I must say first and the third feature is alike feature. Now let me write it for variable cost first, then I will be discussing it. I must recommend you to write down these features in your notebook so that you can prepare your notes for the class. So it increases with production. Second, the cost per unit remains same. Third, the total amount of cost changes. So these are some of the features of fixed and variable cost. Once you understand what is fixed cost, what is variable cost, then we will be easily knowing that what is semi-variable cost. So if I represent these three costs on a graph, let me represent these three costs on a graph now. Okay, so as we know that fixed costs are fixed, so it will be a straight line because there will be a fixed cost. There will be a fixed cost even at the level of zero output. But if you talk about variable cost, then it will be starting from zero because variable cost only start when you start production. So we can write this part also. Only incurs when we start production. This cost does not have relation with production in short run. I am writing always short run because in long run it can also be changed. Fixed cost can also be changed. Now, so this is a graph of fixed cost, this is a graph of variable cost. Now what is the graph for semi-variable cost? So semi-variable cost are the hybrid form of fixed cost and variable cost. That is why the graph will be started as fixed cost, then it will rise after a certain period of time, then it will go like this, then this and this. So this is semi-variable cost. So a staircase like graph you can see in the case of semi-variable cost, but in case of fixed cost you can see a straight line curve. In variable cost you can see a rising curve to the right. So these are some of the features of fixed cost and variable cost. Now it is fixed up to certain level. Okay, understood. Fixed cost does not change up to a certain level of production. In short run, of course, the cost per unit changes. So the cost per unit is equal to the cost divided by units produced. Changes as the production increases. So the cost per unit is changed when the production rises. We will be seeing these features with the help of a question now. So let me here write an example so that you will be understanding that what are the features and how do we determine that such cost is semi-variable, fixed or variable. So question, please try to write it down in your notebook. A commerce coach has incurred following costs. Determine whether it is a fixed cost, variable cost or semi-variable cost. So a list of costs are given to us. We have to determine that which cost is fixed, which cost is variable and which cost is semi-variable. So first of all we have given depreciation here. Depreciation. So we have given at 100% level, we have given at 80% level. So what is the level? Means, so 100% shows the 100% capacity of our machineries, that 100% what is our maximum capacity that can be produced. But we are operating at 80%. We are operating at 80%. We are utilizing only the 80% capacity of 100%. So depreciation at 100% is 10,000. But depreciation at 80% is 7,000. Right? Now, so at 100% the units are 1000, at 80% it is 800. Now we will be having salaries. So salaries are 12,000. Here it is, let's say 15,000, or let's write it 25,000. Then we will be having rent 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Then we will be having, let's say, material expense 12,000. Now let us also say it as 15,000. So now we have to determine which cost is fixed cost, variable cost and semi-variable cost. So now how do we determine that which cost is fixed, which cost is variable and which cost is semi-variable? We will be seeing this now. So take out your calculators and start with me. So first of all, more of the students you see in your class, or I must say the co-students or your friends might say that depreciation is always a variable cost, or salary is always a variable cost. Rent is an example of fixed cost. Material expense is an example of variable cost. So they can say, because generally it is like that. But is there any logic behind this, that why is salaries is a variable cost? Can we identify with logic that yes, salary is a variable cost? Salaries can be a fixed cost as well. So how do we determine that what is the nature of the cost? Now take out the calculators and let's start matching up the conditions. So it is fixed up to a certain level. Fixed cost means it is fixed up to a certain level. So let us see about depreciation. Is it fixed or is it decreasing? So it is not fixed, it is decreasing. So if it was a fixed cost, then it would have been 10,000 only. As we can see that this is not 10,000, it is not a fixed cost. We do not follow the condition number 1. So if it does not follow the condition number 1, then remaining condition will also be dissatisfied. Now, will it be a variable cost only then, or it can be a semi-variable cost? Semi-variable cost. So variable cost, it increases with production. Yes, at 80% it was 7,000, at 10,000 at 100% it was 10,000. First condition satisfied. Second condition, the cost per unit remains same. Now we have to calculate cost per unit. So what is cost per unit? We will be finding that what is the cost per unit. So 10,000 divided by 1,000. The cost per unit is 10. The cost per unit is 10 for this. But what about for this? At 80%, what is the cost per unit? So the cost is 7,000 divided by 800. So as you can see here, we have 8.75 at cost per unit. So the second condition gets dissatisfied because it says the cost per unit remains same, but the cost per unit is changing. Now we can say this depreciation is a semi-variable cost. So this is how you determine that this is a cost of nature semi-variable, variable or fixed. Now you got the point that 10,000 and 7,000, because if it was a fixed cost, it would have not been changed. It would have been only 10,000. But as it has changed, we cannot say it is a fixed cost, but we neither can say it is a variable cost, because variable cost remains same at cost per unit level. But we can see that in cost per unit also it is changing. So it is termed as semi-variable cost. You will be having to classify the cost as semi-variable cost in the marginal cost statement. Now let's come to salaries. So what about salaries? Firstly, let us see, is it a fixed cost? But as we can see here, it is not a fixed cost. Straightforward answer, because the costs are changing. I have wrote the wrong thing. Let's make it 25 and 12. Okay. And this is also 15 and 12. Now, 25,000 at 1000 units. So the cost per unit will be 25. And here what will be the cost per unit is 12,000 divided by 800. So the cost per unit is 15. Again it has also changed the cost per unit. So it is also considered as semi-variable cost. Most of the student thinks that if it is not a fixed cost, then it would be the variable cost. But this is not the case in marginal costing. Now we have rent. So rent remains same. First condition satisfied. Any we will see the second condition as well. See, if you satisfy any of the condition, then continue. If it does not satisfy any one condition, then do not continue. As we have satisfied the very first condition, we will be continuing to next conditions, because it will satisfy all the conditions then. First condition satisfied, second condition, the cost per unit changes. Now let us see that what is the cost per unit. Here the cost per unit is 1000. The cost per unit is 1000 because it is 1 lakh. Now at 800 capacity or 80% capacity, it is 125. It is 100 here and it is 125. So the cost per unit is changing, but the total amount does not change. So condition second satisfied and total amount does not change. Third condition also satisfied. Okay, and fourth condition will also get satisfied because three are satisfied, and this cost will be incurred whether you are producing or not, because you will have to pay the rent of godown in which you are storing a raw material, whether you are producing any raw material or not. So this will be classified as fixed cost. Now material expense. So 15,000 at 1000 level, so 15 per unit here, and 800 at 12,000 is 15 and 15. So this will be classified as variable cost. Why? Because variable cost, it increases with production. So is it increasing? Yes, from 12,000 it has increased to 15,000. Now the second condition, the cost per unit remains same. So the cost per unit is 15 and 15. Yes, same. The total amount of cost changes. The total amount of cost has changed, and the fourth condition will also get satisfied because all the three conditions are satisfied. So this is how you determine that which costs are to be considered as fixed cost, as variable cost, and as semi-variable cost. So this was the logic behind all these things, because you cannot always say that depreciation are always variable cost, or you cannot say that rent is always a fixed cost. If I would have written here like 1 lakh and 1,20,000, the answer might get changed, because here it will be 120 and here it will be 125. Now we can see about semi-variable cost. So let me also write about semi-variable cost. Semi-variable cost. So semi-variable cost, we can see the total cost changes and also the cost per unit changes. So as we can see here, the cost per unit is also changing, the total amount is also changing. Then we can finally say that this is a semi-variable cost. So this is how you classify the cost in marginal costing system. I know that most of you have seen these classification before as well, but just to remind or just to revise our concepts or to sharp our concepts again, I have explained this to you. Okay, so now you have understood all the things about the basics. So we have done the second point as well. Now we will be moving to the